All right. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for WGU's Spring Career Quest. My name is Hank. I am an employer engagement manager in our Career and Professional Development Office. In recognition to Military Appreciation Month, we're excited to have Samira join us from TEKsystems to talk about bridging military skills to civilian tech careers. With that, we would like to also remind you that we are recording this session for you to review at a later date, but also be on the lookout for other Career Quest sessions that we have this month, and be looking out for our YouTube channel at careerprofessionaldevelopment.com. So with that being said, I'll pass it over to Samira to start the session.
Hello, everyone. This is so exciting for me. Not only am I a veteran, I retired from the Army almost 5 years ago, and it's still, like I said, I was telling Anthony, I was like, it's still so surreal that I say that. And also, I am an alum. I got my degree, my master's with WGU 2 years ago, and I guess I'll start there. Is that when I transitioned from the military, and I tell people like transitioning is like an onion, and every time you think that you figured something out, there's another layer of growth, or there's another layer of learning, whatever it is. And I found myself just kind of stuck in between this two place of understanding what my skill sets was in the military, and trying to navigate and figure out how I'm able to integrate into corporate America. And I found myself just personally struggling to just figure out what that happy balance looks like for me. And so in the military, my go-to was just having that comfort of knowing what my regulations and what my policies were, and that was a comfort for me. So I said, you know what? There's obviously information that I need to learn on how to navigate in this new space, the new playing ground. And so that's where I decided to lean into more education, and I'm getting my degree to kind of give me some baselines so that I can have defaults, so that I know that if I ever found myself in this situation, these are some of the things that are the tools and the resources that I can use to feel more confident in my ability to make decisions in a ever-changing environment. But all at the same time, just knowing that I have that as a peace and comfort to be able to empower me to make decisions, and to know that I have a reference point or situation. So I am so excited to continue to build my community with you all, and to share a little bit more about what is it that I do at TEKsystems, and what opportunities and innovative ways that we are creating for our military community. And if you are not military connected, then that is fine, because we do provide opportunities for everyone. So I am going to take a few minutes and share my slide, and then we can get started. I will say that I typically enjoy um, interactive conversations, so that if you find yourself that you have a question that you want to share, then feel free to come off the mic, and then we can definitely interact. And I will just call people out. So just be aware. But this is the QR code is my LinkedIn. So if you wanted to screen that and connect with me on LinkedIn, please do so. I will ask for some grace. In the last few months, we've probably had maybe 4 or 5 virtual fairs. So my LinkedIn, I think I have like 300 that I'm waiting to respond back to. So just give me some grace as I am slowly making my way through connecting with everyone through LinkedIn. But as I mentioned before, I retired from the Army about 5 years ago, and now I lead our military strategy with TEKsystems. And my focus is really to leverage my journey in transition to create more innovative ways for our military community and for our military professionals. And so in doing that, there is so much of the business that um, I will get into who we are, but how do we take advantage of TEKsystems footprints, capabilities, and to really create those opportunities for our military connected members. And that's really what my focus is and what my passion is. So who is TEKsystems? TEKsystems, we are a global organization and we have over 100 partners. Our expertise, our platform expertise is cloud, digital, and data, and we partner with our clients to provide their transformational workforce needs, and also we attract and place high quality talent in opportunities that is geared in our platform. We partner with over 6,000 organizations, many of who you're familiar with, to include higher education. We have a huge network of organizations in higher ed that we partner that are looking for quality talent for roles that they have. And we, as you can see, some of AWS, Cloud, Red Hat, are just a few of some of our partners that we partner, and 80% of the Fortune 500 companies is in our network who are seeking high quality talent to be placed in roles that they're looking for to grow their workforce. Uh, of course, I said we are a global organization, and one of our areas is being able to provide full stack capabilities at a global organization. So that's why I think it works so well with our military populations, because of our pipeline, because of the opportunities that we continue to grow across the global, and being able to continue to place individuals in our network. This is some of our partnerships. I will say that it takes a village. We don't ever pretend as if we do it with ourselves. We continue to strategically continue to strategically identify those partnerships that are not only able to align with our mission and our vision, but also able to really create this team effort to put the right people in the right place for the right opportunities. And that's really the simplest way that I think I can really give one, recognition to our amazing partners, and two, recognizing that we're constantly working to ensure that what are we missing? What is it that we need to do, and what is it that we can do better? Is just our mantra of just being able to never get complacent with what we're doing, because good to me isn't good enough. How do we do better? All right.
Hey,
Really a
Samara,
little, yes.
just quick. Are you able to put your screen in presenter mode, because we are not able to see your slide. We just
Oh,
see the first slide, a picture of you and your QR code.
okay. Am I still sharing?
Not sharing anymore.
Okay. So let's see. Can you see that?
Yes, but it has, if you click on the right, the X in the right to the side, always yes. And
Is
then you should open it up and be able to click. Yep. And then if you click on from the beginning, it should open
Yeah,
up.
that's what I did there, and it didn't. Can you see my next slide?
Yeah, so we can see it now.
Okay, that was weird.
Yes.
Okay, so this is where I was talking about our capabilities, our footprint, global full stack capabilities. Thanks for bringing that up, Hank. I apologize. Um, and our ability to partner with 80% of our Fortune 500 companies, and just the footprint and our capabilities. And this is the where I was talking about our partnerships, collaborations, team effort, and making sure that we are definitely generating, having the right discussions with creating the right opportunities for our workforce. All right, and this is where I was getting ready to transition. So again, I apologize for that error on my part. So for us, for our military career pathways, we've kind of broken it down into three pathways, and we recognize that this is not exclusive or just limited to our three pathways. But what we recognize is that one, when it comes to our military population, it's not fits all. Depending on where you are in your transitional journey, you have very specific needs or certain considerations that needs to be addressed to ensure that you have a successful transition. So we are a SkillBridge authorized partner. We also not only are able to participate in SkillBridge, but we are also a third-party facilitator. So we partner with organizations to help them leverage SkillBridge and to help them identify strong quality talent to leverage their workforce development needs. We do partner with Hiring Our Heroes and to drive our military spouse pathway program. So this is when people ask me, what is it that you were most proud of, or what is the hill? This was my hill that I was going to stand and not move until we got it, because I feel like our military spouses, personally me, someone who served 20 years in the military, are are the backbone of our nation, and it was a no-brainer to identify ways specifically designed for our military spouses to ensure that they are successful, not only where they are, but where they want to be in their career. So I was really proud of being able to create a program that is with them at the the forefront of our mind, and making sure that their needs are being addressed and we're able to continue to advocate for them. And then we have our Rising Talent program, and I feel that this is where it aligns with this partnership opportunity, is providing industry specific training through our Rising Talent model. So our Rising Talent model, it fluctuates based off of the opportunities, the industries, and what clients are asking. And you will hear this terminology when we talk about skill based. This is really where we take this opportunity to focus on what are the skill sets, what are the opportunities, where are the industries transitioning to, and how do we ensure that we close or tighten that gap to ensure that the individuals that are transitioning into those opportunities have the best success for a career, to achieve their career success. And that's really where we partner with our 6,000 clients to ask them, what is it that you need and where are the gaps? And our goal is to create our Rising Talent programs to say, all right, this is the training, these are our boot camps, these are the certifications that we can create to address those talent gaps, so that by the time we get them deployed into your environment, they're highly qualified to execute and to be able to perform at the capacity that we know that this community is capable of. And that's really kind of the high level a overview of the military strategy. Now, I want you to be mindful that this is not exclusive to TEKsystems. This is just my focal point as far as how I show up and I continue to support for the military, for our military connected communities. Now, mind you, TEKsystems holistically, um, where we are, is that we have over 10,000 employees. We place about 2,000. We share about 2,000 roles every day, just about, and we're constantly working with identifying strong talent in the different verticals that we support. And so you will hear me speak about verticals because that's how our organization is broken down into, and all of our recruiters that support those verticals are specialized. So that's something that I am excited to share with you as far as when you work with a TEKsystems recruiter. That individual has been trained specifically to be a subject matter expert in that vertical. And so we have our government vertical, we have our healthcare vertical, we have our customer service vertical, we have our IT, our cyber vertical. So it's all broken down into different verticals, and being able to align the being able to align our talent to meet the needs of the individuals. Now, sometimes, when we talk about a recruiter, like many of you, you understand that recruiters speak to maybe about 200 people a day, or go through at least 300 resumes a day. So our goal is really to streamline the connection piece, because we know that um, change is inevitable. We're seeing it in real time now, and we recognize that what we thought was going to happen yesterday is not necessarily happening today. And how do we remain flexible to ensure that we are able to support the workforce needs? And of course, that means you all. When you're looking at going to school, your goal is to increase your education to make yourself more marketable for those opportunities. How do we align you to those opportunities at a quicker rate and position you in a spot where you're set up for success? And these are just some of the things that we are addressing every day, with making sure that we know who's in our talent pipeline, what opportunities do we have for them, and how do we ensure that we get them placed in front of the right people for the right roles. A couple of things before I open it up to you all for some questions is that if you're not aware, some of the I tell people, the new sexy that we have going on right now is our data centers. And if you're not familiar about the data centers, is that organizations like Amazon and Google and Nvidia are all building these monstrosity of data centers. And right now we're in phase one for many of them as far as the infrastructure delivery. And many of these organizations are coming to us because there's just the demand for the amount of talent that is required to support the data centers. It's abundant. So they're partnering with individuals like ourselves to say, all right, this is the skill set that we need. This is the amount of candidates that we need. How can we work together to identify strong talent to really build our infrastructure for the data centers? And the data centers, they're everywhere. If you haven't already seen them, they're everywhere. And it takes thousands of individuals to run, manage, support, and sustain a data center. So with that being said, we've partnered with many of our partners to create boot camps or rising talent cohorts, to be able to bring in individuals who've demonstrated a certain amount of education awareness, whether it be in telecommunications, whether it be in cable awareness, machine learning, um, HVAC experience, and identify specific skills that our data centers are needing to be able to manage and support. And we create cohorts in different states based off of the needs, and individuals will get approved, go through these 6 to 8 week cohorts. Some of them are apprenticeship styles, or some of them are non-paid but at no cost to the student, goes through this training. And then depending on your performance, depending on your results of your final project and your interview, then you get deployed into a data center role, and really um, almost start working immediately. We have an over a 90% hiring rate in the data centers. And if that is something, when you are looking at what next looks like, and I feel like it would be, I should address that sometimes we just need to understand where the market is going, or what is the focus that individuals or companies are looking for. So I think it's only fair to address that, because that just seems to be a huge topic when we are looking, or we are talking about the direction, the focus on our workforce kind of moving forward. So I'm going to pause there. I'm going to open it up to questions. If you have a specific question about either something that you're looking for specifically, or if you wanted to address something that I mentioned, and please don't be shy.
Yes, if you would like to come off mute, you can use the raise your hand function, and I'll unmute you. Or if you would like to drop your question in the chat, you can do so as well. Um, right. So I do have a question just to kick us off. As far as working with a recruiter, what it would be the main difference of working with like a third-party recruiter like TEKsystems versus a direct hire into a role?
Yeah, so great question. As I will kind of bring it back to when I showed our capabilities at the beginning, and that we partner with over 6,000 clients. Those are clients who are actively looking for talent. And so the difference is that when I say that our recruiters are subject matter experts in the vertical, I mean that because they partner with many organizations in that industry. So, unlike some companies that are very good in identifying talent for their organization, we are very good at finding talent for multiple organizations, and we have access and network to those individuals. So, when you reach out to a TEKsystems recruiter, not only so if you apply, so you'll go to our TEKsystemscareer.com page and apply to the role, or network with a TEKsystems recruiter on LinkedIn. And once you connect with a recruiter, they are able they're able to see what role you applied for, and now they can assess your skill set and to qualify you for multiple roles, not just with that organization. So if you're applying for a cybersecurity role, you may be qualified for a role in SAIC, BAE, Microsoft, and Google, depending on your experience, depending on your background. So it just gives you access to a bigger pipeline of not only opportunities, but organizations that will leverage your skill sets and your experience.
All right, thank you for that answer. We do have a question in the chat from Malcolm. Is there a list available for the different boot camps that you offer?
Yeah, great question, Malcolm. I will definitely get an updated list. I know that we have to clean it because we just had um, a few that started in Atlanta. So what I'll do, I will be sure to update that list. I will send it to Anthony, who will have a list of all of the upcoming boot camps and locations, so that you can have that. And of course, I will also provide you with a link that if you're interested in any of those opportunities, then I'll provide you with the link so you can apply. And our recruiters that is focused on our data centers or boot camp opportunities will reach out to you to get you assessed and to determine where you are.
Great.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Any other questions that we have? Right. So we have Addison in the chat. Regarding your military background, what is one thing you wish you would have known before you transitioned out of the military?
Yeah,
Great question.
Addison, this is now granted, I will say that depending on where I was and where, like, how far out, my answer would have been different. But where I am now, my answer is I wish I took the time to better understand my new playing ground. Meaning that when I was transitioning, I was told, or I was made to think, that my focus was just getting a job. And so I relied heavily on trying my best to articulate how my skills apply to the workforce, but not necessarily understanding how big the workforce was and how can I better navigate in the workforce. So I spent a lot of time frustrated trying to align myself to a platform or an industries that I wasn't even aware of. I wasn't educated on. So I found myself hitting the wall a lot of times because I just didn't have the right level of education so that I would better understand how to leverage my efforts, how to better articulate my skill sets. Because in the military, when I was in the military, I was a career counselor. So career counselor, I was getting out and I was told I was human resources. You know what I wasn't when I got out was human resources. So it was just kind of having that awareness as far as what does the workforce look like, and how do I start to chip away at parts of it that make me more marketable, than instead of just kind of casting out a wide net and hoping to see success.
Right. So we do have another question from Samson. I am interested in hearing more about the data center opportunities, particularly Google Cloud. Could you go a little bit more in depth about the data centers?
Yeah, so when we talk about our data centers right now, data centers, data is apples to, tomatoes, tomatoes. So they right now, when you think about AI, the transformations of AI, when you think about Microsoft and Copilot, and all of these huge industry shifts that we see the industries heading to, it's all driven by these data centers that they're working on. So when you're looking at these monumental transformational shifts in our industry, it's all stemming from the data centers, and that's why you will see them everywhere. That's why you are going to hear data centers as basically the entry point to a lot of these transitional roles. And so with that being said, our goal is to ensure that we not only create a pipeline for these data centers, but to understand how we can really drive a workforce to sustain the long-term growth of these data centers. So when you think about your entry level data technician that's entering the workforce today, how do we create that pathways so that individual becomes a leader in 2 years and 3 years and is able to now run and lead teams within the data centers? That's where we're looking at. So when we talk about the roles and the opportunities, they vary. There isn't going to be a role that isn't going to be valuable within our data centers. Where you, Samson, when you're looking at these data centers, is one, identifying the location, making sure that you're okay with going in an in-person, because data centers they're all in person. Anywhere from 4 to 5 days a week is typically the hours that you're looking for. 12-hour shifts. Are you okay with that work environment of loud warehouse, that is, that is labor intensive at certain points? But to your point with the roles, yes, those jobs are available in the data centers. It is just a matter of, do you meet the prerequisitions? Are there some training boot camps that may be necessary to align your experience based off of the needs. So those are definitely things that we can definitely connect after, that we can get you connected to the recruiter so that you can get a better ideas that how do you qualify yourself for these opportunities, because we want people. There's no shortage of that. We definitely want and need people.
Awesome. Um, all right, we do have another question. I have been out of the military for over a year. What are my options with tech systems? Great question,
Yeah.
JC.
It's just a matter of what industry you're looking for, where you are in your transition. Are you looking for entry? Are you looking for mid? Are you looking for, more advanced roles? What is your background? What is your skill sets? And based off of that, once you're able to kind of narrow down where do you feel your skill sets will align, then I can definitely connect you to one of our military talent or our marketplace talent specialists who align to your skill sets and to your background. So that's somewhere that we can definitely start, but it's just again being clear on what your skill sets are and what industries you align to. And you said
Cyber.
cyber. Yeah, I mean, again, it just comes down to location, your level of experience, what certifications that you have. Do you have an active security clearance? Is your clearance active? Then based off of that, then our recruiter will make that assessment and then determine one, what opportunities are available, and two, what opportunities can we get you qualified for. But yeah, I mean, cyber is what we do. We live and breathe and eat cyber. So it definitely is not a shortage of cyber roles. It's just a matter of the puzzle all coming together.
And then again, you will receive some jobs and some different resources after this session. So be on the lookout for that. And then ongoing emails will come out as well. Um, how can I check if my clearance is still active? Is there a site?
Um, well, I would the what I would say is, oh my God, I cannot think of what the website for your clearance is. OPM, is that it? But I know OPM is going through a haul right now. Um, and but we because we have such a heavy vertical in the government, if your clearance hasn't been, if if your clearance is still within the window of being able to be re-adjudicated, then we can reactivate your clearance based off of roles and opportunities that we have. We have a security officer that does that also. So if it's just a year, you should be good. Um, but I want to say, is it 5? If it's a secret, is it secret? It was like 5, or top secret, it was like 2, depending on when you get out. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Ian. Yeah. So with that being said, you know, depending on the opportunity, if it requires a security clearance and you are able to re-adjudicate your security clearance, then it shouldn't be an option. It shouldn't be an issue with getting that reactivated again.
Great. Yes, and thank you, Ian, for dropping that in there. Yeah, it is 5 years. I was looking on my cheat sheet to get you that information. But just to kind of jump back into the question from Samson, I know with opportunities that consist that come out that would need to be on site, are there other opportunities that you guys provide that may be in a remote setting or a hybrid setting?
Yeah, great question. So, TEKsystems, we actually are broken down into two orgs essentially. We have TEKsystems Inc., right? And we have TEKsystems Global Solutions. Our global solutions, um, 95% of our global solution roles. And if you go online, you'll see that when you go to our careers page, you'll see either global solutions or TEKsystems.com careers page. Our global solutions, most of the roles are remote. However, the caveat to that is that they are looking for individuals with verified experience in the industry. So when you look at our global solutions, like if you have like a ServiceNow certification, there's not enough people with those certifications that they'll hire you immediately. If you have verified experience in cyber as a networking analyst, data analyst, engineers, more of these technical roles, then you're probably a strong candidate for our global solution roles that are remote. So to your point, it just depends on where you are as skill set and what opportunities are available and how do you articulate and verify your experience.
Great, thank you for that response. Are there any other questions? I'm going to give it a couple minutes, but I'm also going to drop in our career quest page. So if you are looking for other sessions this month, go ahead and check that out, and also our YouTube channel. So if you would like to review any other sessions, you will have that ability to do so.
Awesome. Well, while you're doing that, Anthony, I will also say that um, I want to encourage you to be creative on how opportunity presents themselves. With tech systems, we have roles that are contract to hire. We have roles that are direct hire. We have roles that are long-term contracts or short-term contracts, and we've seen many people who, especially coming from the military, take advantage of some of those short-term contracts, those 6 months contract to hire, gain that verified civilian experience or gain that private sector experience, and it literally has set the trajectory that they needed to verify their level of experience. So I say that because I don't want you to shy away with what you think is the traditional sense of a job, and be okay with taking advantage of those 3 months, 6 months, 12-month contracts, because it really gives you the reference point of individuals who have completed a project or an opportunity. It gives you the verified experience of a private sector role in that industry, and then also it allows you the opportunity to almost create a pathway. And so what it does is that if what I've seen people get out of it is that, oh, I did this 6 months contract and I know now I want to focus on in this aspect of the industry. I want to transition or pivot to this part of the industry. So it gives you a sneak peek of the role without necessarily the long-term commitment, but gives you the ability to be flexible so that you can really maintain and have that control over your career as you try to drive and decide what next looks like. So empower yourself to think outside the box and recognize that not everything has to be a this is your job, welcome and work until you don't want to work anymore.
And that's some great advice there, because I know with coming out, being in a contract position, it's kind of a scary situation where you don't have anything that's guaranteed. But working with a contract recruiter, there's opportunities that may come up, or that contract can be extended. So definitely take those opportunities and kind of look into those a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think moving next, what I would encourage you is that um, I will be sending out information to Anthony that's going to have two links. I'll have my LinkedIn linked. Again, I ask for grace. And then also there will be a career, I'll put that here so you guys can start. Um, you guys can start applying to it. And this link is where you can reach out to a marketplace talent specialist. And in usually about a week or two, they'll reach out to you based off of what you applied, what industry you applied to, or what skill sets you're looking for, your availability to work, and then that recruiter for that industry will reach out to you. If you haven't heard any with someone within about 2 weeks, feel free to reach out to me and also send me a message. I'm also going to put my email address because my LinkedIn is scary and I'm low key avoiding it sometimes because there's so many responses. So send me an email, but I just ask that you just put details in there, like where we connected, what you're interested in. Please include your resume. Make sure your resume is updated, and then what and how I can help you. How can support you? And just this is your opportunity to advocate for yourself, and I empower you to do that. You're looking for this. You can start at this time, and just so that I can make sure that I get your information to the right people.
And thank you for sharing that. If you don't get that information in the chat, I will also share that in the email with the recording as well. That does go a long way when you're just connecting with someone and networking, be able to talk about things that you're looking for, and being able to be supported in your efforts and looking for an opportunity. All right. Any other questions we have while we have Samira here to talk about TEKsystems?
All right. I will say that I am not a recruiter. However, I partner with many recruiters. And my goal and my purpose is to position you all to get in front of recruiters. Um, and I recognize that sometimes it's frustrating. But what I will say is that if you and I mean this with the utmost kindness in my heart, is that if you apply for one job and you don't hear back from someone, then the reality is that you probably were not considered for that opportunity. And I don't and and again, with all the kindness in my heart, spending time to follow up for one job that you didn't hear back is not necessarily the best use of your time. I think that it's also an opportunity for you to become curious about what other roles are available. When people reach out to me, I always send them home with homework because most of the time I've seen people become very tunnel vision oh, I applied for that job, or I applied for that job 3 times, right? And I appreciate that, and I recognize the frustration, but I also encourage you to consider what else could you be applying for, or what else could you be better aligned to. And I will end on this is with certifications. I love certifications, and certifications are validations of your experience and or potential. But certifications is not what's going to get you hired, right? So please do not just think that you have a certification and you apply for the job, you are now qualified for the job. It is understanding what level entry of that role is, and how does the certification play in getting you in the door. You still need to show up, you still got to interview, you still got to articulate, and you still got to demonstrate what you bring to the table. So understand that when you are applying, it is a package deal. Some days are better than others, and I recognize that, but I don't want you to get pigeonholed in just only this thing, because there's so many other opportunities out there that you can simply be overlooking. So be curious, be resilient, and create create a network that is going to support you in where you are and not just only what you want to do, right? So just make sure that you develop your network because your network is your net worth. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
All right, I appreciate that. That's very great information to share because, like you said, networking is very important. And we're seeing a lot of thank yous in the chat so far. Very insightful information. Thank you, Kimberly, for that. Any other questions we have? I think that is it for now. So I would like to thank you for joining us today, Samira. You provided some great insight on tech system, but also just as far as your experience transitioning from the military into your current role. Again, everyone, this information will be coming out here in the next day or so. So be on the lookout for that email along with those resources. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our career and professional development team where we're able to help you in your career journey and be able to assist with any needs that you have. With that being said, I would like to thank you again, Samira, for joining us. And everyone, have a great day and we continue to look out for any other sessions that we have this month.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate being here.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.